Welcome to the Unraveling the Scriptures channel. Among the diverse peoples constituting the European nations since antiquity, a prominent group is known as the Germans, also called the Germanic people. Have you ever wondered about the origin of the Scandinavian peoples, such as Germany, Norway, and other regions of Europe, including the renowned Vikings, the Germanics, and various Germanic tribes? This video explores the mysteries and connections between ancient Norse mythology and the biblical roots of the legendary Vikings. I will discuss the origin of these people in light of theology, the Bible, history, linguistics, and much more. So, please leave your likes and comments. Join us for another video in our series, The Origin of Peoples According to the Bible. The Vikings were a group of Germanic peoples originating from the Scandinavian region, which includes the present-day countries of Norway, Denmark, and Sweden. The Viking Age is generally associated with the period between the late 8th century and the early 11th century. However, it's important to note that the term Viking is often used more broadly to describe not only these peoples but also their maritime activities and raids. The word Viking has its roots in Old Norse and can refer to both a warrior and a maritime expedition. The Vikings were known for their advanced navigation skills and shipbuilding, enabling them to explore and raid distant regions, including parts of Europe, Asia, and even reaching North America centuries before Christopher Columbus. The reasons for Viking raids are diverse and include economic, social, and political factors. Some theories suggest that overpopulation, the search for farmland and resources, as well as the pursuit of wealth and trade, encouraged the Vikings to venture on maritime expeditions. The Vikings also left a lasting impact in many areas, including language, culture, and the history of the regions they explored. They were not just warriors but also farmers, traders, and explorers, contributing to the development of a complex society. Their legacy is evident in many cultural traditions and the genetic heritage of populations in various parts of the world. The Germanic peoples, or Germans, constitute an Indo-European ethno-linguistic group originating from Northern Europe, identified by the use of Germanic Indo-European languages that diversified from Proto-Germanic during the pre-Roman Iron Age. With origins around 1900 BC, stemming from the corded ware culture in the North German plain, the Germanic peoples expanded to southern Scandinavia and the Euripus River during the Nordic Bronze Age, reaching the lower Danube around 200 BC. In the 2nd century BC, the Teutons and Cimbri confronted Rome. During Julius Caesar's time, a group of Germans led by the Suebian chief Ariovistus expanded into Gaul, being halted by Caesar in the Vosges in 58 BC. Subsequent attempts by Augustus to annex territories east of the Rhine were abandoned after the Battle of Teutoburg Forest in 9 AD, where Arminius defeated 3 Roman legions. In the east, migrating tribes from Scandinavia, who settled south of the Vistula, pressured the Marcomanni to invade Italy in 166. Meanwhile, the Germans were influenced by the Etruscan alphabet, developing their own runic alphabet. In the 3rd century, the Goths ruled extensive areas north of the Black Sea, invading the Balkan Peninsula and Anatolia. Concurrently, growing confederations of Franks and Alemanni crossed borders, settling along the Rhine, infiltrating Gaul and Italy, while Saxon pirates devastated the coasts of Western Europe. After the Huns' invasion in the 4th century in the territories of the Gothic king Hermaneric, reaching its peak between the Danube and the Volga, from the Black Sea to the Baltic Sea, thousands of Goths sought refuge in the Balkans. There, they inflicted a significant defeat on the Romans at the Battle of Adrianople and sacked Rome in 410, led by Alaric I. Simultaneously, various Germanic tribes embraced Arian Christianity through the missionary Ulfilas, who developed an alphabet to translate the Bible into the Gothic language. Modern Germanic peoples include the Danes, Scandinavians, Icelanders, Swedish-speaking Finns, Luxembourgers, German-speaking Belgians, as well as Dutch, both Flemish and Dutch-speaking, German-speaking Swiss, Germans, Dutch, Lowland Scots, and many English, who have significant descent from various Germanic tribes, including the Franks, one of the Germanic tribes that settled in France. The name France comes from Frank, a Germanic tribe, indicating a notable Germanic presence in France. According to some rabbinic biblical sources and ancient Jewish Semitic traditions, interpretations of the Table of Nations and Peoples after the flood indicate that Gomer, Noah's grandson, would be the ancestor of the Germanic peoples. In other words, the Germans would have their origins in the Japhethite lineage, specifically descending from Gomer, Japheth's son, according to Jewish thought and biblical interpretations. An intriguing curiosity in this context is the possible connection of the Cimbri to the Cimmerian tribe, sharing a name similar to the Cimmerians. Originally, the Cimmerians constituted a confederation of tribal peoples who initially inhabited Iran, later migrating to Anatolia, then to Turkey, and finally to Eurasia and Europe. Initially, they were divided into three groups, with the first composed of peoples of Ashkenazite origin. Ashkenaz is considered the ancestor of all Germanic peoples, including Germans, among others, referred to by Jews as Ashkenazim. The lands where these peoples lived, such as Scandinavia, were referred to as the land of Ashkenaz. This linguistic curiosity extends not only to English but also to the languages themselves that refer to these terms. The ancient Celts were an ethnic and linguistic group that inhabited a vast region of Central and Western Europe during the Iron Age, roughly between 1200 BCE and 400 CE. However, it's important to note that the term Celtic has been used broadly and sometimes anachronistically to describe a variety of cultural groups and tribes that shared some cultural, linguistic, and artistic characteristics. The exact origin of the Celts is a debated topic among scholars. Some theories suggest they may have originated in the alpine regions of Central Europe, while others propose their roots in the steppes of Eastern Europe. The gradual displacement of the Celts over time is known as the Celtic migration hypothesis, suggesting that Celts spread to different regions of Europe due to migrations and population movements. The Celts were known for their metallurgical skills, especially in the production of weapons and elaborate jewelry. They were also farmers, shepherds, and warriors. Celtic society was organized into tribes, and they shared a common language, generally classified as part of the Celtic language group. Druids, a priestly class, played a significant role in Celtic society, acting as wise individuals, spiritual leaders, and holders of religious knowledge. The Celts, as descendants of Rifeth, are genetically considered brothers to the Germanic peoples and tribes, as the Germans are descendants of Ashkenaz. Rifeth was a brother of Ashkenaz, just as they were brothers of Togarma. However, Togarma gave rise to the native peoples of Russia, such as the Nganasan, along with a series of Far Eastern peoples, including the Chinese, among others. If interested, there's a recent video on the origin of the Japanese. Genetically, Asians from the extremes are more closely related to European peoples than previously thought, partly due to a tribe called Xiongnu. This tribe shares a mitochondrial DNA quite similar to that of the Germans and other European peoples, indicating a connection through the lineage of Japheth, a descendant of Noah. Now, speaking a bit about the appearance of ancient Germanic tribes and present-day Germanic peoples, it's interesting to note that Germans form one of the largest concentrations of blonde people in the world. It's not surprising that Vikings and other Germanic peoples are often depicted as blonde with green eyes. This characteristic is quite common in the ethnicity of various Germanic peoples, with many of them having blonde hair, blonde beards, and generally green or even blue eyes. Additionally, it's common for them to have a very fair skin tone, highlighting a characteristic appearance of the region. Certainly, there were Germans with browner hair, ranging from light to darker shades. Regarding the term Germanic, there are several possible etymologies for the Latin designation Germani. As an adjective, Germani is simply the plural of Germans, derived from German, to sow, disseminate, unfold, thread, with the sense of relative or related. As an ethnonym, the word is first recorded in 223 BCE in the inscription of Fasti Capitolini, de Galliis ins bribs et germ, where it refers to peoples near or related to the Gauls. This denotes the kinship of the Gauls, who are Celts, with the Germans, who are Ashkenazites. The Gauls, descendants of Riphath, confirm the kinship with the Germanic peoples in the broad lineage of Japheth. Therefore, the Germanic peoples are ancestral descendants of Gomer, through one of his sons, the son Ashkenaz, who gave rise to the peoples of Scandinavia and the Germanic peoples in general. I hope everyone has enjoyed this video. On the final screen, I'm leaving the playlist of our series in case you missed any videos. God bless, see you soon.